Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Mystic Moon, bringing you guys your Divine Masculine Fire Sign reading. So this is going to be for those of you that have a masculine that fall under the signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So obviously just take what resonates for you and get rid of anything that doesn't. If you guys would like your own personalized version of this reading, I will put that link down below, as well as the links to all the decks I'll be using here today and these beautiful orgonites. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. So the very first thing that we're going to focus on here is your Divine Masculine's energy. So we're going to break it down into 4 different categories. So just kind of like what's going on for him in a general sense. So we're going to go to tap into this deck called the Fire Sign Vibes deck by Divine Love Healing. So let's take a look and see what's going on in the masculine's headspace at the moment. Just in general, what is going on in the headspace? Okay, so we have temperamental Aries energy. We have that volcano that is erupting. So there could be something perhaps that the masculine is feeling a little up in arms about. So what's going on in the heart space emotions? Let's take a look at this. Ooh, we have the extrovert energy, okay? So maybe not introverted, maybe not going deeply within the heart space right now, but kind of, maybe just feeling things on the outside rather than feeling on the inside. So let's see what else. What's happening in the material 3D world? Okay, so we have flighty Sagittarius. Wow, I'm a Sag. What does that say about me? Flighty. But to me, this is just about, expanding your energy, maybe wanting to travel, get out there, live your life, etc. Nothing wrong with that. And let's go ahead and look at that soul's energy. Deep soul energy. Okay, so we have blunt. It's kind of like a Sag to me, very blunt and honest. So this to me, even though we don't have Leo showing up, it doesn't mean that Leo is not a part of this reading, but these are just the attributes of perhaps, the temperament, I guess, of these particular signs. So let's go ahead and clarify with some other cards. We're going to go into these 2 decks here that are created by myself and my daughter, Kayla Recreations. We got the Connections for the Modern World Oracle and the Connections of the Modern World Tarot. Let's see, we're going to break it down. So we're going to put it back in the order that we picked them. All right, so what's going on for this masculine where he is so temperamental? What is this temperamental energy about that this masculine right now has in his headspace? Okay, so we have bearer of gifts. Okay, to me, it's like when I hear bearer of gifts, like bearer of bad news. Ooh, we have the 8 of Cups. Interesting. Okay, so the 8 of Cups, of course, is walking away, obviously. It says, we're walking away from something, we're letting go of something, we're transitioning out of a situation. So this is either something that the masculine is focusing on right now, as in he's doing this, someone else is doing this, or he's about ready to do this. It's kind of like bearer of bad news. It's going to be bad news, as in someone's not going to like it, okay? And it might even kind of agitate or aggravate this masculine that he has to walk away from something, or that even someone's walking away from him. But it's actually a gift. It is an opportunity to evolve. It's an opportunity to move or transition to the next phase of his life. So this bearer of bad news is actually a gift at the end of the day. So he's either walking away thinking about it, or someone is walking away from him, but it is a good thing. It's all in the way that you look at it. All right, so let's go ahead and now go into the energy here of the extrovert and the heart energy. All right, so the heart space energy, it's very extroverted. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh, look at this. We have fling. Okay. So I feel like whatever's going on here is going to fling him into something. And it's just going to be maybe something short-lived, something quick to, maybe create a diversion so you don't have to feel something, or not a diversion, it's distraction so you don't have to deal with something or feel something. Might be going out and just like, getting hammered or something to where we don't have to feel something. We don't have to deal with this, whatever this is, because it's heavy. And I just feel like this masculine may not want to deal with it. May not want to suffer the consequences or, deal with the situation. We have the Star. But ultimately what I'm getting here, though, is that there is something that is happening here that is going to bring something better on the horizon. So I just am getting like this little bit of this story or this like vision that there's a situation in the masculine's life that's not working. And either he leaves it or someone else leaves it. Could be a friend, it could be a job situation, something like that. And it's just unpleasant all the way around because no one's happy, but people don't like to be left, or people don't like to be the person that has to be the bearer of bad news and leave. So ultimately it causes stress. And I just feel like rather than this masculine going deeply into his heart space and like really feeling either sad, so either he doesn't really feel that sad about it and he's actually glad because it's going to help him to move towards what he's, ultimately wanting, or it could be that he doesn't want to deal with the emotions, and so he just kind of busies himself with other things so he doesn't have to feel it. But ultimately we do have something on the horizon that's better. There's a blessing. It is a gift at the end of the day with that star's energy. So the star, of course, is connected to the sign of Aquarius. Okay. So let's see what else we need to know here. We have the flighty Sagittarius. So of course the Sagittarius energy being in his 3D world, this might propel him to move. He might actually move. He might travel. He might, just kind of keep his options open, not really wanting to commit to anything. So he could be actually pulling out of a relationship, if that makes sense to some of you, like a karmic cycle or a karmic relationship. He could be pulling away. So it's giving him an opportunity to be single, independent, enjoy his life, etc. And we have axe to grind. Interesting. Okay, so I feel like, again, I don't know who it is. I don't know if this is the person or the situation that he's dealing with or the person that's dealing with him. But this does create some sort of like someone's upset. Somebody's pissed. And that's why it's like I hate to be the bearer of bad news. And it's kind of like when you got two people that really aren't good together, but and like one person knows it and the other person knows it too, but they still want to hang on. And then, of course, when it's all said and done and over with, it's like, like, thank you for doing that because I probably never would have ended it. It's like that. It could even be a job thing, though, too, kind of like, we're downsizing or, we have to let you go. And if this masculine would have continued to be at that job, he wouldn't actually be headed towards where he's headed towards. So it's like that. Hope I'm explaining that correctly. All right. He's spreading his wings and he's flying. And what it's ultimately doing is it's pushing him into the hanged man's position. And the hanged man is ruled by the sign of Pisces. And this is causing him to really think about where he is, where he wants to go, what he wants to do. So he can kind of get hung up and stuck on like his either anger or like just how he might feel upset, or he can actually use this as an opportunity to propel himself into a life that really is meant for him, if that makes sense. So we have the overall soul level energy. What's going on here? We have very blunt, and I almost feel like Spirit is saying, look, we're just being blunt here. This shit that you've been in, it's not working anymore. There's no other way about it. It's kind of like hard knocks have come knocking on the door, and you're either going to transition or we're going to drag your ass out. That is what I'm picking up on. And it's like it might be upsetting this masculine's plans. He might not be ready, but he has to be ready. Oh my gosh, yes. That's the thing. Do you see this? This is like Spirit coming in and like trying to say something, trying to help this masculine to see something, but he would rather be ignorant because it's easier to stay blind and not know something than it is to, it's kind of like The Matrix, the movie, how Neo, in some way, he almost felt like he would have been better off not knowing about the Matrix, because then he saw all the stuff. He saw everything the way that it truly was, and the way that everything truly wasn't. And it's just like ignorance really is bliss sometimes, because what you don't know, I guess, can't hurt you. And I just feel like there's some kind of message here about that. All right, what else? The Emperor, but hey, the Emperor is Aries energy. So what I'm getting here is that this masculine is supposed to rise to the occasion. He's supposed to be in this position of divine masculine rising. Okay. He's supposed to upgrade. He can't upgrade as long as he's holding on to this old situation. It could be a job. It could be a way of living, a way of life, an addiction, a person, a karmic cycle. So either he is ending it, or the rug is being pulled from under his feet like a tower moment, and he's just got to deal now with the consequences. And he might not feel stoked about that. He might not feel happy about it, but he's having to deal with it, is what I'm saying here. There's no turning back, though. There's no turning back. It's just like, that's what Spirit's saying. There's no other way to say it. There's no turning back. You can't go back. To go back, you would be regressing. To go back or to stay, you would just remain stagnant. You're not growing. So it is time to rise up to the occasion and to take responsibility and to, just go after something different, something that is meant for you, something that is going to empower you. All right. I hope that makes sense. So anyways, let's now take a look and see what is the masculine's energy towards this feminine. So we've got this combination of decks from Aqua Moonlight. This is the Secrets of a Lover's Journey, as well as this deck here called the Untold Truths of the Heart Oracle. We're going to combine it with my Twin Flame Journey Tarot, as well as my Divine Masculine Revelations deck. Okay. What do we need to know here? How is this masculine currently viewing the situation in his mind? What are his thoughts towards the feminine? How does he view this connection currently? Ooh, we have a tempting offer. Well, okay. So I'm going to kind of go back here. If I even acknowledge his crying, he's going to keep going. Okay. It's my cat Opie. Okay, fling. Look at that. 2 sparklers. I had to connect the 2. We know that in the masculine's, in his environment right now, he may just want to escape. Okay. There could be something about the feminine where he wants to escape to her. He wants to come together with her, especially if he was in another relationship and there's like third party situation. He may want to run to her. He may want to, connect with her. He might just be thinking about her, though. It might not be actually something where they're speaking in the physical world, because some of you guys are in separation of contact. But it's very tempting. It's very tempting, actually. Okay, it says dance with danger, short-lived thrills. So he's thinking about this firecracker energy. He's thinking about it. But we have fling. And so this tells me here that this masculine is maybe perhaps not emotionally ready to be serious with the feminine. And the thing is, that wouldn't be fair to her to come towards her, going from one relationship to the next, if that's the story. It's actually not a good thing for anyone to do, is to go from one person's bed to the other, or one situation to the next. You need time. You need time to heal. You need time to simmer down. You need time for yourself. You need time for reflection. So it is very tempting, I'm seeing here, for this masculine to want to come back into the feminine's life and maybe, start something with her, or start now. I'm free now, or, I'm feeling down, so I want to contact you. I want to be with you. I'm going to feel good. There's something kind of like that. Yeah, I feel very afflicted. Okay, so of course I'm still affected by our connection. So even if this isn't really about him escaping one situation, and trying to go to the feminine, I'm just going to kind of look at this as just its own energy. He is really tempted right now to make contact with the feminine, or to basically get together with her in a very passionate way. And the reason why is because he is very much still affected by this connection. He's afflicted by this connection. There's something that makes him want to be with her. So he is thinking about her, especially if they're in separation. The Ace of Swords. Oh yeah, she's heavily on his mind. He's really thinking about her. He's thinking about breaking on through to the other side and making her aware of his thoughts about her, about how tempting it is, how he has been holding back for quite some time. So I'm hoping that there's something in what I'm saying that's resonating with maybe a variety of different people out there, because obviously this is a big collective. But this is something where there's a fire that's still burning. and it might be dangerous to try to be with her, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's something he's going to do. But if he did, it would only be short-lived, because maybe he's not available, she's not available. There could be something there, and so it makes it difficult for, should we break through? Should I break through? Should I contact you? Should I send you that message? It's tempting, and I want to, but I don't know if I should. That's for somebody out there. All right, so let's see what else we need to know. What's going on in the heart space for this feminine? What is the masculine's heart space and feelings towards the feminine? Okay, we have frozen. Interesting, we have silence, stillness, and no words. So this is going to be for those of you that have not had any contact with this masculine. There have been no words exchanged between the two of you. It has been frozen. It's like a love that's frozen in time. And in his heart, there's no words really. He wishes to perhaps break through that ice. Let's break the ice and have a conversation. And there seems to be no communication there. We have searching. Okay, so I'm still trying to find myself. So I think it was the, what card was that? Let me just go back to that. It was this one here. Oh, the Sagittarius card. Flighty, wanting to explore, being the extrovert, right? Going out, living life. I feel like that is the masculine's energy here. In his heart space, he knows that he's still trying to find himself. So it's kind of like it's not fair to come back to her right now. Because he's either still trying to make a transition from something in his life, or he may not be 100% ready to settle down. So again, he doesn't want to just have a fling with her. And wow, it is tempting, but it's probably not the right thing to do. So in his heart space, it's kind of like he knows that he should not make contact with this feminine because he is not ready, for some of you guys. Look at that. Soul searching. Searching, soul searching. Hermit. Hermit mode. Also, the hermit is in snow. There's something about being frozen, kind of like hibernation mode is what I'm seeing here. So some of these masculines might be going away for a bit of time. They might be traveling. They might be spending some time on their own for a while, being like solo. And I feel like for some of you guys that know that this masculine needs some space and time to kind of figure out who he is and just figure things out or transition, from an old situation. In your heart, I feel like that this isn't really personal. It's something that he has to do. So he's searching also in his wow, can I talk? He's searching in his soul, actually, is what I'm seeing here, because that's soul searching. He's going deeply within his soul to figure out answers about this connection, because he's still affected by this connection, even though you guys might not be in contact, and he doesn't understand why. So he's like trying to figure that out. But he's going to have to go solo mode and do some deep soul searching in order to kind of touch base with what this means to him. All right. All right. So let's see what is going on in 3D sense. Physical world energy. Enemy in disguise. Okie dokie. So let me go ahead and get some words and the tarot card, because the message is not coming just yet. Okay. All right. There's something about other people here in the environment. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So I kind of got this, but I didn't say it yet. I was going to say there could be third party for some of you guys. And it's like, the third party person is like almost your masculine. So if some of you feminines are with someone else right now, this masculine may know this, and that person in a way is like his enemy. Not really, but it's like his adversary, if I'm saying that right. Maybe that's not the right word, but there is something here, like there's something that isn't as it appears. He's trying to figure out what's going on in the feminine's life. Does she still care for him? Is there something still between them? Does she feel the same? Has she moved on? Is she in love with the person that she's with? Does it seem or appear that, you're happy? That's for some of you guys, if you have already collaborated or are connected with another person. I'm also getting, though, if they're still in the situation, they're still in their karmic partnership, it's not as it seems. They care too much right now about what other people are going to think, so they're not pulling away from that situation. So they're still remaining stuck. And so you're looking at that and you're seeing things, but it's what you're seeing is not accurate. Meaning, if you think that, you know, your masculine is feeling a certain way towards his person because there's happy pictures on social media, I'm just seeing here, perhaps even pull away from that behavior of even looking, because something's not accurate. Okay. So I don't know what that's about for somebody, but there is some kind of like third party energy, or like a enemy, but they're not really an enemy, but it's just like somebody is in the way. And because someone's in the way, it makes it difficult for them to get what they want right now. But at the same time, what I'm getting here is that this masculine doesn't have any right, because he may have not been available for a long time too, or acted a certain way, and can't just come back just because he's ready now. Maybe the feminine isn't. So there's some kind of like, it's not fair energy, but people are still kind of feeling a certain way, or maybe even entitled. But I do see that this masculine is trying to act with integrity and do the right thing, as in, I'm not going to come forward until I know I'm ready, or I'm not going to come forward because of the situation. Just take it as it resonates, okay? All right, let's see what's going on a deep soul level. There could also be an influence of a person around this masculine that's really, really, we're not going to blame this person, because the masculine has the ability to break away from really anything that he truly wants to. But there could be an enemy in his pool of friends or family, or like a toxic person. And he might care too much about what other people think or this person thinks. And so he kind of keeps continuing on this path with this individual, even though they actually might be an enemy of yours. Or it could be that they know that this person doesn't have their best interest in mind, yet they can't cut that toxic tie. I don't know what that means for someone out there, but just take it if it does. All right, deep soul energy. Okay, we have dreams coming true. I feel like on a soul level, there's definitely some sort of bliss and vibration between you and the masculine. So this could be one of the only ways that you guys are able to connect right now, because maybe it's not happening in the 3D physical world. So maybe it's coming together in your dreams. Might even be that your masculine fantasizes about a life with you and sees you as a dream come true partner. But he does say here, his behavior, please don't take what happened personally. It's not you, it's me. Hence I need time. I'm searching for myself. I, am needing to be in like a solo mode kind of thing, or available at least. I'm also getting, for some of you guys on a soul level, it's like you actually were a dream come true, but I screwed it up. And my behavior is not a reflection on how I really truly felt about you. Yeah, the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords is very painful ending. It's like being stabbed in the back, pretty much. So if there has been some sort of a really abrupt, painful ending here on a soul level, this masculine wants the feminine to know that this is not a reflection really of how he felt towards her. His behavior was because of some other circumstance, or just his own shit at the time. But really, she was a dream come true. And, he had a lot of bliss and a lot of good vibration, and maybe perhaps even wanted to manifest something with her, but there was something that got in the way. We're not blaming other people. We got to take responsibility for our own actions. But he's just saying, don't take what I did or said or what happened personally, because this is not about you, it's about me. So that's an important message for the feminine today. All right, you guys. So we're going to shift gears, and we're now going to go into the biggest hangups and blockages. I mean, I feel like that Ten of Swords has something to tell us today, but let's go a little bit deeper. We're going to go into a combination of decks by Fire Witch Tarot. We've got the Truth Rising, we've got the What's Brewing, and also what's the tea? Hold on. Yeah, what's the tea? Okay. And my Dark Night of the Soul Tarot. All right, let's do it. Okay, so what are some of the hang-ups right now? The biggest hang-ups in this connection? What are some of the circumstances that are kind of keeping the two of you apart? Or work that needs to be completed? Okay, Actually, I'm just gonna reshuffle it. We have investigating. Okay. So, of course, what does investigating mean? It means that we are investigating. We're needing more information. We're trying to look at something. We're trying to read between the lines, gather something, trying to figure something out. All right. So let's go into my Dark Night of the Soul Tarot and see what else. Ooh, it's kind of like, okay, Eight of Rage is Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is about forward movement, and it's also about communication. In this card, I have the hands over the mouth, which is somebody's muzzled, somebody's not saying something. There are so many things that have not been said. There's something that someone isn't saying. That's why it's very important not to judge the book by its cover, because there is something that's not accurate that you're looking at. So try not to make assumptions with things that you see, especially if you're trying to investigate for details here. It's only going to fuck you up. Sorry to be so blunt. I'm the Sag, remember, but that's how it goes. So if you don't want to feel like constant crap and you want to basically have peace in your life, don't go looking on people's social media and trying to figure things out like that, because if you can't trust someone, or if you already have that kind of feeling, you don't really need to confirm that to yourself. You basically just need to trust your intuition that something is off. And sometimes what we see as little investigators, we think we're onto something, and then we create all kinds of crazy ass stories, and it just runs away with us, and we just now are in this like total other reality of something that might not even be true. So that's kind of what I'm thinking more than, that, which is sometimes you're better off not going down that rabbit hole, because we start making things up. It's like the game telephone. By the time it gets to the 100th person, that story is going to be so much different. So the truth is going to be lost every time we do this. So if you guys are trying to find out information, what you guys are seeing, and this goes for the masculine too. If the masculine is trying to get information about you, there's not an accurate picture here, because people are not speaking the truth. It doesn't mean that they're outright lying, but they're not saying something, which can, I guess, be somewhat like lying. But I'm withholding information. I'm not saying certain things. I'm pretending to be a certain way, but I really would say this, but I'm just not going to say it. I'm going to hold my tongue. So that leads people to be confused in the situation, because there's some level of, I guess we could say, deception here, but I just feel like there's so much that people are not saying. So this masculine and feminine, because they're not talking to each other, they might be trying to get information on each other from outside sources or even other people. And it really is just blocking the connection, because it's not accurate with what they're seeing or what they're hearing. It's like that's that enemy in disguise. It's almost like you're your own worst enemy. I'm getting that too for someone. You're your own worst enemy when you do this. That's crazy. And it could also be like, if we want to communicate with someone, why are we not communicating with them? Why are we sneaking around? What's the problem here? And if somebody has said in this connection, I need time, I need space, then really actually honor that and give them that space and that time without investigating on them and sneaking around behind their back and snooping on their social media. Like, really energetically give them space. Really honor that, because energy can be felt. I don't know. There's something about that. We have preparing for what's to come. Okay. So this is the deal. I feel that obviously if you and this masculine had some sort of a falling out and things didn't work out, what we need to do instead of wasting time here, okay, wasting time, reaching out when, and I'm just using this as an example, if someone has said, you know what, I need some time and space, why are we reaching out then? Don't reach out. When someone says no, respect it, okay? But that could be vice versa. Maybe some of you guys have had to put this masculine in his place and block him and just be like, I'm done. I can't do this. Okay. So that's good, because when we're taking care of ourselves, we're actually preparing for what's to come next. When we're busy in drama, when we're busy just basically focusing on everything else but our self-care, then we're not going to be prepared when the next thing comes. We're not going to be strong. We're not going to be grounded. We're going to be flying around in the clouds and in fantasy. We're going to be flying around with what we think we know. And then things are just going to come crashing down when actual communication occurs. So spend more time, I'm seeing here, and this goes for both parties, spend time just really working on yourselves and don't get caught up in the outer world crap. I don't know what that means for someone, but that's what we have. Okay, yeah, so this is the deal. The Fool. The Fool is ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. And so this is the planet of freedom, letting go, liberation, no strings attached, letting go. Huge word here, or words here. Preparing for what's to come. Sometimes you're not meant to know. This is the thing that aggravates me, especially with people in the spiritual community, either, other readers out there and things like that, really abusing their cards, consulting their cards every single day, several times a day, to get information on what's going on. What happened to just having faith? What happened to just doing one reading and just being okay with what came through? To me, when you're doing readings like several times a day, you're trying to change the story. You're trying to control the narrative of what's going on here. And so we're just getting in our own way. So I'm sorry if I'm calling somebody out here today, but we've got the journey of darkness. Sometimes you don't need to know. Sometimes you're not meant to know. If we knew everything, we wouldn't learn shit. So prepare for what's to come by just pulling back and accepting that this is a journey and some things are just not meant to be understood or known right now. Sometimes we don't need to say what we want to say. Sometimes we don't need to search deeper for meaning. Sometimes things just are what they are, and we just have to find that peace and that energy. Sometimes we just have to trust instead of needing to be on top. Somebody like that is very much operating from their ego, and they're not in their faith whatsoever. And so I just feel like Spirit is kind of calling some of us out here when we try to control what's happening in situations by, abusing our spiritual gifts or trying to get a leg up on and constantly being 1 or 10 steps ahead of the game, by doing all this investigating. We're actually just totally screwing ourselves. We're absolutely screwing ourselves. And I'm just seeing here too that the person that you're doing this with actually feels this and they're repelled. People are repelled when you just keep going at it and at it and at it and at it. And it's just like, oh God, just leave me alone already. I told you I need time. I need space. And I just think that, sometimes people need to just take the hint and focus on themselves, Wait for somebody else to return. Wait for them to make the move. That way you don't have to be upset because all you do are making or all that you're doing is making the moves. Because I actually hear this in a lot of feedback that I get, either with its emails or the readings that I do or on my channel, that the person just keeps reaching out. They're the ones that are always creating the reconciliation. They're the ones that are always reaching out first. What I'm getting here is that cycle for some of us needs to end. We need to maybe take our hand and put it over our mouth. Pull back from the need to know everything. Pull back from the need to snoop on social media. And instead, just work on yourself and prepare for what's to come. So anyways, that was way long-winded. I don't know who that's for. I probably triggered somebody out there and they're going to be like, Mystic Moon, go fuck yourself. I get it. All right. I'm sorry. Because at the end of the day, you guys, it is a toxic behavior. It doesn't serve anyone. It's very poisonous. It's poisonous for you, and it's poisonous for all the people that are connected to you, really. I mean, I've witnessed people doing this before, and it's really, really hard to watch because you know what's going on, and you know that like they're spinning out of control, and you can't really, if you say something, then they're going to be triggered, they're going to be upset, they're going to be pissed, maybe villainize you, cut you out, etc. So you kind of just like keep it to yourself. But then that's toxic and poisonous too. If you can't be honest with people, of course you can do it, in a decent way. But people that don't want to change and want to keep running around in the same circles and getting the same exact results, to me, you're on this journey just towards more darkness. You're not learning anything. You're not evolving at all. So I just think that if this masculine, for instance, because this is from the feminine's perspective here that I'm talking to you guys, if your masculine is this kind of person where he's like severely toxic, or just like in a toxic environment, situation, or just acts very toxic, you may have to pull back and just allow your masculine to go into this journey of darkness instead of following him into those woods. You know what I mean? Let go a little and allow him to figure things out, because we did get that journey of the soul, that soul searching energy for sure. That was Virgo's energy, by the way. And I just think that we've got to allow people to kind of figure out who they are at the end of the day. We just have to. So this is the section where we're looking at what are the biggest hangups and blockages. That's it. The way forward. So the Chariot is Cancer's energy. It's almost like a cancer, like it's going to develop into a cancer, like a sickness, a disease at this point. That's what I'm getting with the Cancer's energy. But the Chariot is about two people being on the same page. If you and someone are on the same page, it's going to work. It's going to flow. It's going to, that Chariot's going to move forward. You guys are going to want to head in the same direction. But if you're constantly in a situation where someone is pulling the reins from out from your hands, and, trying to take control, or they're wanting to go in a different direction, that Chariot obviously is not going to move. So that's why the word is barricade. So, if right now it seems like it's stalled, or it's not flowing, or it's not moving, it's not going to do us any good to get out of that carriage and start pushing the carriage. Those two horses need to be on the same page, and they need to be cooperative in order for that Chariot to move. So I'm kind of relating this to masculine and feminine. If you guys are not in agreement right now, that's okay. Allow some time for healing. Allow some time for introspection. Allow some time for soul searching. And in the meantime, really try to hang back and allow people to do what they need to do. And obviously we have our own lives to live as well. So I know that was like really, really like, but that's just sometimes what comes through. So now we're going to go into what is the masculine assuming right now about the feminine. So let's just see what he thinks he knows about the feminine. That's kind of interesting. So we're going to go into the Twin Flame Journey Oracle cards and the Divine Feminine Healing deck. These are both created by myself. All right, what does the masculine think he knows about this feminine? What does he think he knows? What is he assuming about her? Because remember, there's some kind of a weird thing where people are kind of assuming things about each other that might not be true. Okay, so we have compromise. Ooh, unavailable. So the way that this masculine actually sees the feminine is that if he were to try to come towards her, he feels like he might be rejected, because it says this rejection is for my divine protection, as in I can't make myself available for you to hurt me again. Okay, so he might not believe that if he comes towards the feminine, that she is going to welcome him with open arms. Why is that? I don't know. There was 10 of Swords here. There was obviously all of this information here that we just tapped into that was pretty heavy, of course, where, people are kind of like looking online, maybe finding things out, or, wanting to talk. The other person isn't wanting to talk. There could be all kinds of things, like you were unavailable too many times. Now all of a sudden you want to come back. I don't think so. so. So there could be that energy where he's just like, you know what? I put her through too much. I put this off too many times. Maybe this is just something that I just already know at the end of the day that she's just going to reject me or not return my phone call, so I'm not even going to try. That could be it too. Now remember, there was some third party situation energy too, so she could be unavailable and he may not want to compromise her position or compromise his own if there is third party on his part too. So it could go a bunch of different ways. So what I'm getting here for some is that if you are in another relationship, Divine Feminine, this masculine assumes that you would not compromise your relationship for him if he came back. So he's actually looking at you and seeing you as somebody that has integrity. So now we have patience. We have composure. Okay, interesting. So this is what the masculine assumes about the feminine. Composure. She's just calm. She's just chilling. Like it's almost like the masculine looks at this feminine and thinks that she is unaffected for some reason. Like she's just chill. Because it says, I remain calm under pressure, even when other people are trying to engage me in conflict. So he almost like assumes that she's this impenetrable. No, I'm saying that wrong. Like he can't penetrate that wall. Like he's not going to be able to get through. So some of you guys have either made it perfectly clear that you're serious business, like you're just not going to let him back in, or that you've moved on with your life. Or you just seem like you're just chill and he buys it. That's what I'm getting here. Like he totally buys it. So this goes to show you what I was talking about before. Social media or talking to other people are not an accurate description of what's going on with each other. Because feminine, if you are not in this calm energy, okay, and you're not really feeling great about the separation, he would never know that because of the mask, perhaps, that you present on social media or between mutual friends. So he buys this mask. He buys what you're selling. And you might buy what he is selling to on social media. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I went so heavy into the blockages, which seemed really harsh, I know, because there's something about behavior that just literally just, it sabotages our peace. It sabotages our energy. And it's all for a bunch of just baloney. You know what I mean? It's all for a pack of, I don't want to say lies, but it's just all for a show. Like it's not even real. Like social media, it's not even real. It's just not. It's not an accurate description. I swear I went through my social media just recently and I got rid of so much shit. And it's not like, oh, I'm just this fake person, but it's just like, I'm sorry, but I'm not even friends with certain people anymore. Me even keeping this up on my social media is not even an accurate description of who I am anymore. I just went through and just deleted a bunch of crap, got rid of a bunch of things that I have, nothing to do with anymore. And it felt really good because I just felt like, you know what? I just feel like this is some false part of myself that's just, it doesn't belong here. And besides, my social media is really it's not a personal social media. It's a professional social media. So it's literally just all readings and things like that. And I tried to do like personal pages before in the past. And I'm just like, I don't really want to share my personal life. So why am I even trying to like put stuff up? Like, I'm just not going to do it. So anyways, that's just how I feel about social media. Personal. I have a Facebook, never use it. Things like that. Just not doing it. So anyways, that is what I am getting here for you. Feminine, you might be doing a really good job at creating this picture for the masculine, and he's buying it. That's just what I'm saying. He's buying it. So if that was your intention, good for you. All right, now let's go into the current vibe and frequency of this connection. So we're going to go into 3 decks here. We've got the Love Compass Oracle. We have the Arrows of Love Oracle and Tarot that I created. All right. What is the current vibe and frequency of this connection? Make a conscious choice. Ooh, okay. So this is talking about rising above and making choices, like making deliberate choices. So the choices that you make in this connection, it does matter. So it's like making good choices, making good investments on what you're going to focus on or where you're going to put your energy. Okay. So this is basically consciously choosing what you want so that you can manifest it. So this does take me back to the whole example of social media. If you're spending time trying to gather up information or sneaking around, it's a deceptive energy. And so if you're wanting to create something healthy or you're wanting to create something beautiful with someone, you're not going to be sabotaging it or acting sneaky on the back end, because that energy just doesn't mesh. So I feel like that's why this card is coming up, is because it gives us an opportunity to make better choices. It gives us an opportunity to act with more integrity. And even if the other person isn't, it's like we still need to make that conscious choice for ourselves. So I think that's beautiful. So it could be that right now the masculine and feminine are kind of rising out of some of those old behaviors that are toxic and not working and making better choices. I like that. And we have heart on the line. So this is great. So we're putting our hearts into this connection rather than our egos. So like we're pulling our head out of the situation, as in we're no longer like battling with this person with our mind. We're like going into our heart and we're honoring how we're feeling instead. Maybe even having more compassion too. So that's not a bad thing either. I love that. The Ace of Arrows. So of course the Ace of Arrows is the Ace of Swords, and Swords is that mental head energy. To me, I'm feeling here that we're going to feel quite stimulated. To me, this is like maybe even balancing out a little bit of the head and heart space. Like we don't need to be all head and we don't need to be all heart. We can just be kind of right there in the middle, right? I like this. But the heart here in the middle is like really big. And then we have the two little hearts that are kind of balancing things out. So I really like this, because this tells me right now that the frequency and the vibe of this connection is that both parties are taking some responsibility for the things that maybe they've said, choices that they've made in the past, and really like examining how they feel and even empathizing with the other person with how that may have impacted them. I think that that's a beautiful message. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Let's see what else we need to know here. What else is going on with the vibration and the frequency? Yeah. To me, this is empathy. We're having empathy for people that we have, that maybe our actions or the words that we've said have affected them. We have divine counterpart. Beautiful. So this person here acts as a divine counterpart for for both of you, as in they're your counterpart, you're their counterpart. So there's something spiritual going on here, some sort of spiritual lesson. There's a specific thing that both of you are learning. Wow, we have the stars aligned. So definitely you guys came together and aligned at the right time. And I feel like what this is telling us here is that you may be meant to align with this person once again when conditions are more favorable. Now, right now we've got Five of Wands, which is, of course, two people battling, two people butting heads, or could even be rivalry, which are other people in the situation, such as competition, etc. So this creates unfavorable circumstances right now. So when circumstances are more favorable, there could be a better outcome in this whole situation. So there is a journey into the self, and then a journey back towards one another. That's what I'm seeing. And we have commitment. I like that, because commitment is about making a commitment. If we can't make it a commitment to ourselves, then how are we going to make it a commitment to somebody else? If we can't make good choices for ourselves, then how are we going to make good choices with someone else? We're not going to be able to. So it sounds good. It sounds good that we can do that, but can we really? So if we can't love ourselves, how are we really going to love someone else? So I feel like there's an opportunity for both people in this situation to really look at and commit to making better choices and loving the self. I like that. And that is going to create a favorable outcome here. Yeah, we have rendezvous, which is two people coming together. It's like the Two of Cups to me. You know, you guys both make this commitment to be better. You know, this is not about blaming the other person, because I see that a lot in these dynamics where it's just like, you know, this person's doing this person's doing that, but it's just like, okay, that's great. Like, I understand that maybe you're not exactly doing the same thing, but what are you doing? What are you doing besides maybe sitting around and blaming this person and talking about all this stuff that they have going on that you can't stand or hate? You know what I mean? So it's just like, sometimes these counterparts and what's coming up gives us an opportunity to kind of look in the mirror and go, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I need to get my shit together too, right? And then we have the Five of Hearts, Five of Cups. So the Five of Hearts, Five of Cups energy, it does say self-pity. So the thing is, when we can't love ourselves, right, then it's really difficult for us to attract another person that's going to love us too. So like attracts like. I'm just seeing here that that's what we want. We need to work on that cup. We need to work on our cup if we really want to come together in a divine way with our divine counterpart. We really need to clear those wounds. We really need to look at our past. We need to look within. And instead of feeling sorry for ourselves, let's take some responsibility. Let's take some personal inventory. Let's do some work. Let's heal. Let's kick ass. Let's move forward. Let's thrive. And then let's see what happens. But while we're in this Five of Cups energy, nothing's going to happen. We're just going to feel like shit, right? So I feel like both you and your counterpart, your masculine, are committing to being better versions of yourselves and to doing things differently and better. And earlier in this reading, we really saw this masculine was pulling himself out of a situation that was toxic, okay? And even though there might still be a lot of hurt, there might still be like a lot of stuff here, the way that we handle ourselves is really going to create either a living hell or bliss. The choice is ours. So this is about pulling back, focusing on us, and letting your counterpart do the same. And obviously, when the stars align, as in when the timing is right, this looks to me like there will be these two cups coming together again. So try not to waste too much time on this journey being sad. Try not to spend too much time on this journey missing this person. Or, like I said, snooping around, asking questions, doing a million readings a day. You know what I mean? Just like getting totally cracked out on this connection, right? You'll lose yourself. You will lose your sense of self. You will become depressed. You will become sad. You will disempower yourself all the way. Best thing that you can possibly do is just to make more of a commitment to you. And when we do that, then other people who are also in that same boat, these two people can come together and support one another. And that's what we're trying to build, right? I love it. So build it with yourself first, so that way it can be built with someone else. All right, you guys. So now we're going to look at the heart song from the masculine to the feminine. I can't use my words today. I'm just like tongue-tied. So this right here is the Claire story cards 1 and 2. We're going to grab 3 cards, and then we're going to get a song. Ooh, we have within 1 year. Interesting. So there could be some timing. Within this year or within a year's time, something may be happening here. We have retreat. Okay, so we already know that the hermit was soul searching in a retreat mode. And we have queen. All right. So there could be some sort of a connection, or some sort of I'm going to crown you as my queen, or within a year, the feminine is going to rise. She's going to be like the divine feminine rising into her power. Within a year's time, she is going to feel better. Maybe perhaps during the separation, if there is one, both of you will retreat and you will be mastering something and crowning yourselves. So there could be something really positive that comes from this. That's why you don't want to waste too much time being sad here. All right, let's get your heart song from your masculine to the feminine. We have, can you stop the rain? All right. Peebo Bryson? I don't know who that is. Here's another morning without you. Here's another day. Will I get through it without breaking down? Haven't seen the sun since you've been gone. Like my heart, I lose it when you left me, and it can't be found. How can I go on? Baby, I'd be living on memories of you and me. All the love we made, all those tender nights, all the endless nights, they're all here inside. Wow. Okay, so this is the masculine's message through the song. So obviously you're going to want to listen to the song, look at all the lyrics because there could be more there. But what I'm seeing with this is that the masculine is telling the feminine here that it's just another day that you guys are apart. So I do feel like there is separation here. And I just feel like it's like just kind of getting through another day without you, and everything that he feels inside, he is taking it with him on his journey. So he's not going to forget about you, feminine. So that's another thing. Try not to be in such this fear-based thinking that if you stop reaching out to him, like if you feel like you have to remind someone by reaching out to them, kind of like, I'm still here, that they're going to forget you if you don't. You got to really look at that. You have to really look at that. But I just feel like this masculine, no matter where he goes, he's keeping you inside. He's keeping you with him. And he's always going to have those memories with him. He's not going to forget about you, feminine. So have more confidence. Crown yourself as the freaking ultimate feminine in his life. Like no other can compare to you. You know, snack on that reality and crown yourself, for God's sakes. There's no reason for you to feel less than just because this masculine either chose another person, can't get it together, or whatever circumstances have come about. Really try not to look at this as you suck. And again, we don't need to actually say the masculine sucks. We just say these are the circumstances, and I'm going to kick ass and I'm going to do my thing in the meantime. That's what I'm going to do. Right? That's how you're going to spend your time. So this is the masculine's heartfelt message and song for you, feminine. That's an amazing one. All right, so we're going to end this reading with some advice from Spirit on this connection. So we're going to go into these archetype cards, which is the Treasure Trove Oracle that I created. See what messages Spirit has through these archetypes for us. We have the mixologist. Ooh. The clergy. And the comedian. All right. So the mixologist. This says, shake out those bad vibes with the mixologist. A refreshing attitude will have new prospects pouring in. Remember, the glass is half full. So the Five of Cups is one of those cards where the person on the card is kind of looking at the cups that are half full or half empty instead of half full. So we're changing our attitude. Okay. And when we change our attitude, we shake out those bad vibes. When we're no longer focusing on what we don't have, and instead we're focusing on what we do have, we're changing shit up. We're changing those bad vibes. We're shifting them. So Spirit is just continuing on with this very confident, empowering message for feminine. You want to talk about a frickin' divine feminine rising? Here it is, the Queen of Wands. My newsletter for the month of March is based on the Queen of Wands because it's Aries energy, and we are going into Aries season next, right? March 21st, I believe. So the Queen of Wands is all about living your best freaking life and being so confident. She has the crown on her head. We just saw this with the Queen's energy. So feminines, you are going to be rising into the Queen of Wands energy. That's what I'm seeing here. You're going to shake out whatever's not working for you, and you're going to focus instead on things that you can control, and you can control you. You can't control your masculine. You can't. You can't control circumstances. You can only really control yourself. And as we are in control of ourselves, things just start to fall in place that are meant for us. It's beautiful. So maybe you had to shake things up, right? Maybe life has just shaken you up recently, but it's to shake you back into place. It's to shake you back into yourself. It's for you to go after what it is that you want. And it's also for you to be strong and to show the way to other people. So if you're a spiritual teacher or a card reader and you're kind of giving out that advice, but you're not really living that life, that's saying something. That's saying something. So that's something to think about too, It's definitely saying, let's practice what we preach. Let's be a positive influence on other people. Let's not chase people or talk about, have faith, have this, have that, but we really don't have it. You know what I mean? We don't really have faith that whatever's happening right now is not happening for a reason or is happening. Let's definitely have more faith and go after the things that we want and really embrace our Queen of Wands energy and just be confident. Okay. So now we have the clergy. It says your spiritual foundation could be a bit off kilter. So do you see what I just was talking about? It's like some people might be sharing a certain philosophy or a belief system, but they're not living that life. And I've actually done that myself too, where, I'm like, oh yeah, high vibes all the way. And, think positive thoughts and, affirmations. Yeah. And then, feeling like total dog shit, super, super negative. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're all human. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about, like a false prophet energy where you're doing something completely opposite than what you're actually presenting, like false social media, persona. So the clergy is saying that there's some sort of a spiritual foundation that's kind of off kilter right now. So it says tap into your higher power for the answers that you're seeking. So sometimes what people will do too, especially if like they didn't hit their target or they didn't get what they wanted, even though like they really tried to go for it, but it didn't work out, they'll start blaming the philosophy. They'll start blaming a religion. They'll start blaming a belief system. I've even seen this on the twin flame journey. Twin flames aren't real. Twin flames are a cult. Twin flames are this. Twin flames are that. Like, saying all this negative stuff about twin flames. And even though sometimes people can lose themselves on that journey, it doesn't mean that the twin flame concept is crap. It means that maybe the way that you were attaching yourself to the system was crap. So that's why we have this message coming through that's saying, it's not that you're wrong per se, or that this thing is fake or false, or that it's just a trap, whatever. It's only that if you have acted in a way that has created that for yourself. You've created this nightmare for yourself. So I actually feel like there's some people in the spiritual community, and I think I was one of them, even though I didn't 100% like, say like, oh, twin flames this or twin flames that. But I was just kind of like pulling away a little bit from that philosophy because I was like, I'm not really sure that I understood it or things like that. But where I was at the time, I just I wasn't trusting the process. I wasn't trusting my higher power, actually, that led me there in the first place. I was very much in my ego and in my head trying to figure things out. And that's not what belongs on the twin flame journey. The twin flame journey is all about heart energy and higher knowing and understanding. It's not for the ego and it's not for the physical eyes to figure out. So I know that there's certain people in the community right now that are going through these shifts. I've actually heard from them personally. And I know that suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it. Like I'm feeling this again, or I'm understanding something, or I totally feel different now on my twin flame journey, even though I was, kind of like casting it aside like it was a bad thing. So a lot of people in the collective, I feel, are going through some shifts. And then of course we've had some readers that have just completely fallen off, and either they're super religious now and demonizing everything, or they're just no longer doing readings at all, which is fine, to each their own. But I feel like, sometimes things happen and we just get confused. Oh, see, look at this. I can see clearly now. The rain has fallen. Okay, I can't sing. But seeing clearly now, the sun's energy, happy at work, growth mindset, yes. So for me personally, I can identify with that, because when you're plugged into something and you're plugged into it, not from your ego, but just from your heart, and you're just doing something that makes you happy, that's all you really need. That's all you really need. And I just feel like there's so much growth here. Be proud of yourselves, Divine Feminine. Be proud of where you've started on your journey versus where you're at now. Really be proud of yourself, seriously. And don't let all that shadow and all the shit that's happened here, don't let that take your optimism away. Don't let that take your light. Don't let anything steal your light permanently. Keep shining, keep growing. You know, there's so much happiness out there to be experienced. And you have a lot of fire, Divine Feminine, so just keep going on your journey. You don't have to have it all figured out. And just because you maybe, made a couple of choices here and there that might not have been the best, you can still pick yourself up and keep going, or learn from it and do something different next time. You absolutely can. And, but, the black and white energy, as in, this is all bad and all good, that major polarization is what I'm seeing here is not going to be helpful on your journey. Okay. It's not going to be helpful on your journey. Staying somewhere right in the middle, considering this and then considering that, but kind of being right there in the middle and neither being affected too much by either one, just kind of cruising right in the middle. That's where the sweet spot is. That's why that card's black and white, because that is what the message is. And we got the comedian, you guys. It's just like, learn to laugh at yourself. There's so many things. There are so many things that, we've all taken so seriously. Like, oh my God, I thought I was going to die, or, oh my God, I thought this was the most important thing. And then you just like think back on it now and you just kind of laugh like, wow, what was I so up in arms about? What was I so like twisted up about? It's like no big deal now. So that's life, you guys. So wherever you're at right now, let's just say a year from now or 10 years from now, whatever, you're not going to be in the same spot. You're going to evolve. You're going to grow. You're going to see things differently. You're going to feel differently. You're just going to feel differently. So try not to stay stuck in any one thing or one emotion or one situation for too long. Life is too precious to be suffering the entire time. But the comedian says the jokester is determined to give you some humility when frowns are all around. Don't take life too seriously or you're going to miss out. And that's so true. That's so true. Just got to laugh sometimes. Yeah. Because guess what? We're all going to go through this. We're all going to go through our ups and downs. Sometimes we're going to be down, and sometimes we're going to be like down and out, shut out in the cold, poor house, all kinds of hardships. But everything in life is temporary. Like I was just saying, you're not always going to feel this way. So every season in your life has a reason. And it doesn't mean you can't be upset about something. It doesn't mean you can't like be honest with yourself about how it's affecting you. But realize that every storm shall pass, and whatever you might be going through or whatever you have gone through, you will pass through this energy just the same. So, but at the bottom of the deck, I have the Page of Swords, and this Page of Swords here, I feel is another reminder not to analyze the situation too drastically. Okay. And if you're on your fucking computer and you're looking at your Divine Masculine and you're sneaking around, close the laptop. Sorry, I had to throw that in. I seriously say that with love, you guys. I'm fooling around, but it is my Sag blunt humor that clearly already came through in the reading. That's just the way that I am. So I just want to have fun with you guys, and I want to kind of just always push you guys to be better, to feel better, to empower yourselves, to make things more about you, this growth, like this journey, this growth that you can experience through this journey. That's what I want more than anything for you guys. That's why I started this channel. That's why I'm still doing these types of readings, because that I just always want to remind you guys that this is happening for you. It is. This is happening for you. Even this connection, it's happening for you. And you can make it work for you if you really choose to. Okay. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and got something from this. I will be posting tomorrow the Earth and Air sign readings. And if you guys want to purchase your own personal reading, the links will be down below. I also have a tipping link if you guys want to drop me a tip for today's reading. Or I do have an Amazon wish list for decks, Oracle and Tarot decks. I'm a junkie, and so I absolutely love to receive just random. Of course, I have the list that I like, those decks. I have that as well if you guys want to throw something my way just to show appreciation if you guys want. All right, you guys, thanks so much. You take care. Bye-bye.